Oh, oh. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon for everybody. Welcome all. Let's first welcome Dr. Behzad Zamani from Iran, and we welcome him and thank him very much for accepting our invitation to deliver this lecture, which is titled Approaches in Teaching Grammar. And I am Shawqia Hawawre, the president of the Arab English Teachers Association, and I welcome you all. Thank you, Dr. Behzad, for coming, for joining us, and we hope that we will have a great session as usual with you. And also, I want to thank all the educators from all over the world. Welcome to our session, inshallah. Here, the objective is to have this lecture, as I said, and here we will introduce our guest speaker. He is an employee in the Ministry of Education since 2000. He is teaching in private English institutes in different levels, beginner, advanced since 2005. He's teaching IELTS and TOEFL preparation classes since 2012 and teaching MSRT and EPT preparation classes for a PhD candidates. And he's teaching in Farhanagen University since 2016. And also he's teaching in Azad University since 2018. He's running different workshops, including in service classes for teachers in the Ministry of Education in 2010. He's a trainer for the teacher of Ministry of Education for a newly published books prospect series, and also he's running different workshops, including pre-service and in-service for teachers of English institutes and lots of cities around Iran. As I said, he has a BA in applied linguistics in 1999, and also he has an MA in applied linguistics in 2009, and a PhD candidate in applied linguistics since 2015, and he is a holder of the Cambridge CELTA and Cambridge TKT and Delta module number 1, and also he is a certified teacher trainer. Welcome another time, Dr. Behzad Zamani from Iran, and thanks for joining us. Hope we will get benefit from you. You can now begin sharing.
Thank you so much, dear Miss Shawqia, for introducing actually. But surely I'm not uh actually don't. I mean, all those different titles that I have given you as my bio, okay, and you have shared all of them. It was a little too much, but thank you so much. I'm just an English learner as usual. Like I've tried always to be an English learner because I believe strongly in this great, I mean, sentence and teaching and saying that says a great teacher is a great learner, willy nilly. If I want to be a teacher, if I want to teach other, firstly and most importantly, I need to be a great learner. Thank you so much. And I just want to talk about do you have the pay? Do you have the slides or no, guys?
No, 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 no. You can begin sharing, Doctor.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I need to share
Yes,
it.
because
Yes,
I was
yes.
sharing.
Yeah, yeah, I can see. Okay, now I'll do it. Details, service together, show background effects, turn on. Okay, keep it. So I just want to share. Okay. Okay. And now I think. Do you have the page or no? Can you see the slides?
No, not yet.
Not yet. What? Give me a
You
moment,
can
please.
open first your PowerPoint, then you can begin sharing.
Yeah, I will. Now I think you can see that. Yes?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, dear friends. Okay, I'm so happy I'm here. My first question is here. What is the purpose of teaching grammar? But first of all, as I've mentioned before, at the very first session that I've been here, I've mentioned about two types of lesson that normally they can find or they can be found in our different textbooks. Textbooks, sorry. Two types of lessons. Can you tell me, can anybody tell me, anyone tell me what those two types of lessons are? I would be appreciated if you can give my, questions answered, okay? Two types of lessons, what they are.
What do you mean, doctor?
Because when it comes to, when it comes to teaching, and when you open a book, normally you can see a page. I just want to ask you a question because I just want to go through this session a little more practical than just theoretical, and just to talk about some theoretical aspects of teaching. I just want to go through some more practice, and I want to see how they work in real practice in classes. My question is here: what books do you teach in your schools or in your classes? Can I have the name, please?
Yes, for us in Palestine, for example, it is called Palestine, English for Palestine, which is a British curricula. It is not a Palestinian one,
British
unfortunately.
curriculum. Yes, it's a
Yes,
kind of British
yes.
curriculum.
Yes,
Okay,
so it
okay,
is called Palestine, English for Palestine.
okay, okay. So, so English for Palestine. Uh, do you do you have the books nearby or no, dear Miss Shawqia?
Yes, I will try to fetch it because my books are at school, but maybe I have one.
I'm so sorry to bother. Just I want to go through the books. I was going to ask you to send me one page of your book, but I was a little
Yes,
too
I
late.
have. I
Yeah.
have.
So uh, go through lesson three. I don't know, units or three, lesson three or unit three.
Unit 3.
Unit three, it is unit based or lesson based?
Yes, it is. There are units, and each unit has periods.
Okay,
Some of the books have, for example, 12. Some have more or less. Okay.
okay. So go
Yes.
to unit three, please.
Yes. I opened my 12th grade book, which is titled here, A Funny Thing Happened. The name of the
Other
unit.
thing is the title, the theme of the unit. Yes, is the topic
Yes,
of the unit.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And would it be possible to share the page with us or no? Is not there is no such possibility.
I will, but after a while.
Okay, okay, no problem. So, and my next question is here: all the guys that they are in the meeting, are they familiar with the book or no? The guys in the meeting, are they familiar with the topic or no? They are not familiar with the topic. Thank you so much, dear Shawqia.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, dear friends, as dear Miss Shawqia is uploading the page or the book, maybe the PDF, I just want to go through my first part of the speaking. Okay, two types of lessons that usually, as a teacher, I should know. When I open a book, I should know that what kind of lesson I'm facing, what kind of lesson actually is in front of me, and based of that lesson, I can make up my mind to go through the teaching process. You know, otherwise it would be a kind of a beating the air and just wasting our time and energy, and nothing special is going to occur. You know what I mean? Okay. So two types of lessons, and simply I want to go through the chat box. I don't know, do you have my still am I sharing my page or no?
No, no.
You are sharing. Yes, yes. Two types of lesson, guys, we have, and they're called language lesson and skill lessons. In all books, you have these two types of lessons. Means you want to teach skills or you want to teach language. So maybe you want to ask me, what's the difference when you talk about skill and when you talk about language? Does anyone knows what's the difference? Oh, thank you. We are expecting what you will say about different approaches in teaching grammar. Okay, dear Ehsani Roba. Okay, I'm just doing that. Okay, don't worry. Yeah, we will do it. Okay, we have two types. I want to go. I want to go different approaches for today. Three approaches that I want to introduce. But first of all, dear Ehsane, I want to ask you a question, if you let me. Okay. Uh, what's grammar? Is a language lesson or is kind of a skill lesson? I have the chat box, and everyone can type actually in the chat box, please. Is grammar a language lesson or it's a kind of just a skill lesson? I'm not going to give you some fish. I'm just trying to teach you, to tell you how to do fishing. Yeah. Ahmad
Nice.
thinks, yeah, a language lesson. Surely it's a language lesson. Thank you, dear Ehsane. And what's the difference between a language lesson and a skill lessons? Does anyone know? Please type in the chat box. I'm waiting for your participation. What's the difference between language lesson and a skill lessons? Language more general, Ahmad says. Okay, thank you. So,
You are not sharing your slides, Doctor.
okay, it is my slides. Can you see?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
and because I need to type
I send you the title of this unit, number 3.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I do
by the way,
appreciate.
it is not my book. It is just a girl's book.
Okay, thank you so much,
Yes,
dear Miss
welcome.
Shawqia.
Thank
Okay, I hope I can have it. Not received anything yet. Okay, so
you. You are sharing your WhatsApp.
yeah, I'm showing my WhatsApp, but I couldn't find anything yet here. I'm in
Yes,
the page that you're sharing. Okay, no problem. I want to go here. So I want to start talking about,
yes,
yeah. So
yes.
normally we have two types of lessons, and dear Ehsan is waiting for some actually approaches that surely I will share with you. Now, please, just look here. I hope I can do it. Okay. And yeah, we have two types of lesson, a skill lesson. Okay. Can you see that? Visible?
Yes, yes, it is
Okay.
visible.
A skill lesson and language lesson. In each book, you can find them. language lesson. Okay. A skill lesson are those receptive skill as reading and listening, and those productive skill that they're speaking and writing. And language lesson are those, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation, and even function. Okay, so two types of lesson that you can see in all books that normally we have. Okay, and such a thing that you can see here. But the question is here: what's the difference between these two types of lesson? What's the difference between a skill lesson and a language lesson? Does anybody knows? Just if you can turn on your mic and talk, please, dear friends. I would be appreciated because I don't have any access to your, chat box now. I'm on my slide. I'm actually noting. So just turn on your mic and please let me. What's the difference between a language lesson and a skill lesson? What's the difference?
Yes, anybody who wants to answer, he can raise his or her finger.
Yeah, Miss Shawqia, manage it, please. And later, if there is no volunteer, I would answer and go to the next step.
Yes, Miss Noor, go ahead. Miss Noor.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe yeah, maybe language lessons are related to accuracy and using language accurately for functional language, for functional use, I mean. But lessons are related to fluency more and related to using language in real life situations.
Bravo. Thank you. Nice answer. Yeah, to a big extent, your answer is correct. Okay. Language is the matter of knowledge. So it's the matter of knowing. You want to add something to your students' prior knowledge, or you want to tell them something and they want to know something. But when it comes to skill lesson, exactly it's the matter of doing. And that is something that makes this difference. You can see here, yeah, we say language lesson and a skill lesson. And simply speaking, yeah, when it comes to language, it's the matter of knowledge. But when it comes to skill, it's the matter of doing. So knowing and doing, there are two things that we need to consider. And it was the right answer. So when I open my book, and it's the matter of kind of language lesson, simply grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation that I want to teach, I'm sure at first that there's some kind of, giving some more knowledge to my students. So, is it a skill? Not yet, but later they can be actually put in practice, because when it comes to the definition of grammar, that now you want to say, okay, it's a matter of using competently, accurately, and fluently the knowledge of language that you want to use. Thank you so much. So far, so fair. And now, let's just do it. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm using my whiteboard here, as well as, I mean, the one that you are doing here. Now, what is the purpose of teaching grammar? Surely the first purpose, when people actually think, probably the first big picture of a book is a full of explanation and rules. However, what we should focus on is to take our students to point Yeah, you want to take your students, okay? You want to take your students, you want to take our students to the point where they're able to use language competently, fluently, and accurately. It's a definition by James Scrivener, 2005, sorry. So it's a matter of three words: competently, fluently, and accurately. So one more question is here. What's your definition of competence in English? What is competence, dear friends?
Yes, please raise your hand and try to answer. What is meant by competence? Is it understanding, for example?
Written or spoken? Yeah.
No, spoken, Dr. Mutia.
Yes.
Please,
Competence means knowledge.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Competence means knowledge. Okay. Some more.
Competence also,
Any other?
also understanding, maybe.
Any other definition?
Understanding.
Understanding. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
And dear, as you and dear doctor, both of you, you've mentioned, you're right. But I can,
Yes.
I'm waiting for
There
a better
are some
definition.
answers,
Can I add?
doctors, some answers in the chat box.
Yeah.
Miss Gia says skills. Dr. Hala says competence is mastery. Al Hassan says having the ability of using rules of a language. Dr. Hala says competence is mastery of communication.
Yes. Yes. That is.
Assalamu alaikum to all. Is Mubarak Ali. Competence is equal to eligibility or aptitude in my main.
Exactly. That is nice definition. I have received that now. Come is a mastery, having the ability of using rules of the language. Thank you, Ehsane.
Yes.
And Dr. Hall, the competence is the mastery of communication. Yes. When we talk about competence, simply is the matter of have the knowledge first, as their first doctor said, and later be able to put it into practice. So we have two items here, two sides. Have the knowledge, I have the knowledge, and I can put it in practice. So it's a matter of competence. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, combines knowledge and use. Very good. Thank you, Nur Jarbo. Yes, linguistic and communicative. Yeah, communicative. Less capable of efficient way. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Nice, nice, nice. I've been really actually benefited and I've really learned with by your nice definition. So Jim Scrivener says, okay, you will take your students to the point that they are able to use the language competently, fluently, and accurately. You know, there is a big issue in teaching grammar in most of classes that I have I have actually I want to see I have observed. And simply, what is that? The topic is here. My students maybe have the knowledge, the first part of competency, but they are not able to put it in practice fluently and accurately, and it's a big
Yes.
lack.
This,
And
this is
it's
the real problem.
exactly.
This
Now
is
I
the
want to
real
show you in these 2 or 3 sessions, I want to show you how you can help your students with this issue. Really, it's an issue. My students know a lot about different forms. I don't know, different structure, present perfect continuous. I don't know, clefting sentences, dangling sentences, clauses, and by name and by formula. But when it comes to use, they are not able. And they have just very limited, area of English grammar that they can put it in practice competently, accurately, and fluently. So let's go to the next slides. Okay, My first question is here. When you teach grammar, what do you teach, dear friends? I want to go through the chat box and I want to see your answer. So when we are teaching grammar, what do we teach? There is recording, doctor.
Yes, because
Recording.
Dr.
Recording. Thank you.
Record,
Yeah.
but
No recording. Okay, I don't know. Miss
no,
Shawqia, maybe they're
it
talking
is
to you.
recorded.
Yeah.
This session
Yeah.
is recorded as usual.
Recorded. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Gia Shiri said that it's a matter of form. So when we teach
Yes,
grammar, you teach form. Okay.
use
The first
use
answer. Another meaning, use, and form. Thank you, Nura Jabo. Yeah, Noor.
no.
Thank you, Noor. Meaning, use, and form. Thank you so much. And Doctor says because most teacher teach grammar rules and separate information. Actually, yeah, very nice. Information rules, usage, form, but we should teach it in context. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you so much. Ehsan, giving rules and explaining them through examples. Okay, Ehsan is not a very good one. It's not a very, because you are simply talking about again the form. But I just want to, I want to put a new mindset here. And do you know what it is? Is here. The new mindset is here that I just want to draw your attention. When I'm talking statistical methods, what do you mean exactly by that, dear Ahmad? Okay, so when I talk about grammar, teaching rules is the matter of form, but I just want to give you a new mindset because when it comes to teaching, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. What happened here? Yes. Okay. When it comes to teaching grammar, it's a matter of meaning, pronunciation, and form. Three aspects that we need to consider. But which one is the most important? Which one is the most important? Can you tell me? Ms. Shawqia, read the chat box if you can see it.
Yes.
Which one is the most
Someone
important? Yeah.
not practically used, Mr. Ahmed says. Olivia says phone. Miss Noor meaning. Olivia says of course.
Yeah. Undoubtedly, this is the most important part of this story. Undoubtedly, 100%. First, meaning. Maybe you want to ask what the meaning is. Should I translate the grammar into Persian for my students? No. Now, for actually to understand this part, I want to ask you another question. Thank you so much. Meaning. So what's the definition of meaning in teaching grammar, dear friends? What's the definition of teaching meaning in grammar?
Yes. You can answer orally
You
or
are,
by writing.
you are teaching actually present perfect.
Yes, Miss Noor says giving context for the function. Miss Rocio says meaning.
Meaning, yeah, I can see that. You are teaching present perfect, for example. Okay?
Yes.
You're teaching present perfect. Just tell me, please, from this example, what is the meaning of present perfect that you want to teach first to your students? And for this part, we need different approaches, dear Ehsane. Okay, first I should know how to teach grammar. Then I can go through those different approaches that I want to share with you. They are TTT, text-driven, and context-built. Three approaches that I want to share with you, as well as PPP. Four approaches that normally they are used in teaching grammar, as well as TBLT, okay, task-based language teaching. and guided discovery that I hope I can talk about all of them in 2 or 3 sessions. That how to use the rule in different contexts. Thank you. Yeah, I just and now another sentence. You want to teach, for example, simple past. Okay, a grammar. Dr. Hala says meaning may be related to be able to send a message you want using different tenses. Okay. Dear doctor, thank you for your nice answer, but still the question is here. You are teaching simple past. The grammar that you want to teach today is simple past, and your students don't have the knowledge, and you want to start teaching this grammar. Okay, we just want to exemplify F kind of example. Okay, you want to start teaching grammar, and this grammar is something that now you can see here, and simple past. So you want to start teaching. What is the first step? Everyone can talk, please. What's the first step? Action or visual? What do you mean action or visual, Ahmed?
Yes, Mr. Ahmed, you can open your mic and answer. Clarify your answer, please.
I've told you, okay? I just want to go through the grammar more practically, okay? I don't just want to go through my slides and read them and finish. I don't like such a presentation at all. Yeah. Building a context, Noor. Thank you.
Showing Mr.
It's nice, Ahmed. It's nice. Yes.
Yeah.
You're telling a story in the past. So very good. What's the name of this stage? Simple past, how to use it, and what are the words that indicate that we should use this tense last day? Dear Esana, you are going through the grammars, too much deductively or even inductively.
Yes.
But we can go through some more updated approaches and strategies. So the first one is lead in or warm up. As some of you have mentioned, you can tell a story. You can show a movie about, for example, I can do it. For example, my warm-up stage is here. I want to show a movie about myself from my last week, some pictures I want to share with my students. And I want to ask my students some question. Who is he? This is, I don't know, Dr. Zamani, or this is Teacher Zamani, Teacher Behzad. Okay, where is he? He's at home. And for example, what did he do at 8? What did he do at 12? I want to share some pictures of mine that I did something. But at this stage, my students are not going to be told they are going to discuss, or they are going to learn simple past or such a terminology. There is no need to tell them. As you have mentioned, you're just building a context. Exactly. By this simply showing the picture, I'm trying to build up a context to help my students go through the context to start teaching. Okay. From here, you can ask your students some question, or even you can show a film, a movie of yourself or other people, or even you can tell a story as dear Dr. Noor or some other guys actually. Yeah, my students are not aware of this structure. They are not aware of the structure, but they're going to be involved. And it's the matter of engaging, as Jeremy Harmer said several times. Engaging. Okay, you want to engage your students, and you want to make your students actually make your student think and speak in English. So my next question is here. Is there any evaluation in this stage, in this level, or no? In the warm-up stage? Am I going to tell my students, you're right, your sentence is wrong, you are not right, this you should use
No.
E. No, there is no evaluation at the warm-up stage. Not at all. Thank you, doctor. They're just a matter of engaging and involving your students in the lesson that they're going to be faced. Thank you so much. It is the first part of the story. It has been done very well. So what's the next stage from here? All ideas are accepted. Thank you, Dr. Hala. Yes, thank you so much. So what's the next stage? What's the next step? Presentation. What do you present, dear Noor?
The use, maybe.
Yeah. You want to present the famous MFP. Sorry. MFP. Yeah, thank you. Answers? No. We can ask them to collocate and discuss the answers. No, Dr. Hall. They have done already. They have worked in pair, in groups, and they have discussed the situation. At this stage, you are going through the presentation, and it's the time that usually is the teacher talk times increases. It's the only stage of the lesson that teacher is allowed to talk more than students. And other stages, surely you should step aside and let your students talk and talk and talk. And this is the stage that you can your teacher talk time, and it can be teacher talk time as a quality time that you want to give to your students. But yeah, no, thank you, teacher talk time. And presenting examples, yeah. And now I want to give you some examples as well. So at this stage, you want to start teaching grammar and presenting MFP. So from here, you want to use different approaches. Yeah, maybe you want to, use text driven. You want to use TTT, you want to use PPP, you want to use TBLT, or you want to use TBL, or you want to use actually context building or context based. Yeah, TTT in presentation, teacher talk time in presentation, exactly. Now look at this slide, please. Meaning, form, pronunciation, you want to teach. What's the first? Build up a context that, as I've mentioned before, it's the matter of simply let me change my color. Yeah. It's the matter of warm-up. You want to build up a context that's going to be really important because it's going to help your student to activate their schemata, or if they don't have the schemata, you want to establish. So what's the next step? You want to, from the context that you have created, you want to elicit, or if you couldn't elicit and this elicitation has not been done properly, you want to give them an example sentence of the target language. It's one approach, okay, of the target language. For example, you want to say that, for example, Behzad visited his parents last weekend. Okay, for example, teacher Behzad, because it was the context that you have created. So you want to put an example of a target language on the board, and then you want to, after this part, you want to use CCQs. And does anyone knows what CCQ is? What is CCQ, guys?
Part of questions.
Sorry?
Types of questions.
What is CCQ? What is CCQ? Sorry, what? My typo. What is CCQ?
Concept checking question is right.
Exactly it is. Concept checking question. Thank you so much. They are concept checking question because the concept that we have given to our students, it is. What was the sentence? Do you remember the sentence? Yeah, it said,
Teacher Behzad visited his parents last weekend.
exactly. We say that was the teacher Behzad visited his parents last week. That's simple. And you want to ask some CCQ or concept checking questions. CCQ or concept checking questions. Yeah? You want to check if your students can understand the concept or no. Okay? So we say, I want to make some CCQs from this sentence. Did teacher Behzad visit his parents last week? Yes. Did he visit his siblings? No. So simply, I am checking that my students understand the meaning of this sentence or no. Did teacher Behzad visit his parents yesterday or last week? And the students want to answer. Still, the students are not going to go through the form. It's too early. First meaning, they should understand why I'm using this structure, this sentence, this grammatical structure, what kind of message I want to convey. Yeah, so did teacher Behzad visit his parents last week? One CCQ question. Number two, is he still there? Is he still there with his parents? No. Is it finished? Yes. Yes. There is a question?
Yes, Miss
Can we say as an example of concept questions, for example, did Dr. Behzad or teacher Behzad visited his dad and mom?
Dad and mom, yes. But you know, because the focus is not on the word parents, the focus is on the word visit. When you use
for the time.
Yeah, an equivalent for parents, dad and mom, simply it's not the appropriate CCQ because it's not atomic enough. But normally 2 or 3 questions gonna be good enough at dear teacher. So these questions that I've written, for example, for you, they can be there. Did the teacher visit his parents last week? You say yes. And it's gonna be really important that you have you wanna, prepare those CCQ for yourself before the lesson. And is it still there with his parents? No. Is it finished? Yes. So 3 questions that exactly shot the point about the action and about this meaning that is finished or not finished. So in this way, now I'm sure that I conveyed the message. I can go through the next stage. Okay? And in this part, I want to go through I'm sorry. Okay. My eraser. Yeah, it's working. Okay, yeah. So now you want to go through highlighting the aspects of pronunciation, you know? I need to go through the pronunciation aspects, and I want to tell my students that how, for example, ed is pronounced. Yeah, I can write 3 or 4 examples and after meaning finished. Okay, but before pronunciation, even it's recommended that you should teach them the form. But this teaching the form should be done, based on a guided discovery. Don't tell them explicitly that this is ed and then you want to have a kind of simple pause. It's going to be much better that you want to write some sentence on the board, put your students in pair and ask them to find out what happened, why these sentences are, for example, are not for now, they are for past or past. The why, and they want to find the rule by themselves, and you just want to help them, and it's going to really work. And then you want to go through the pronunciation and surely some example on the board, and then eliciting the form and writing the form on the board. There is a need to finally let them, your students, see the form. But in pronunciation aspect, surely we need to to have some drilling. It's a must. After form, we want to go to pronunciation. And for pronunciation, you can have a drilling chorally and individually. Both of them. You want to ask your students to repeat, for example, I visited my parents last week, and your students want to repeat after, not just one word, a full sentence, because they want to see how the words gonna be go in the chunks. Okay, so you want to say, okay, I visited my parents last weekend. Visited is pronounced it, and then you want to give some more. Actually, I wanted some more tea. Actually, last night when I was in the party. Or give another example of I lived in Urushalim, for example, last year. And then another example, I helped my mom, or I helped my brother with his actually lessons last weekend. So you can see, and even they can be some example from the first movie or from the first picture or from the first context that you have created. And your students going to repeat after you chorally and individually, and then the form going to be elicited and then written on the board. And after that, you want to go through some control practice or CP. What is control practice? Normally, there are some practice that they are found in the books. Okay, there are some true false questions. There are just some fill in the blanks or write the correct form of the verb in the blanks, or such exercise or multiple choice questions that there's just only one answer. And what's the purpose of the control practice? You just want to raise your students' awareness about the new structure, new grammar. They are not going to produce anything here. They just want to understand the new structure better in both the meaning and form. And it still is not the matter of production, because after this part, they want to do some semi control practice or SCP, that in this part your students they will be given a chance to have half or half production. For example, you can show them a picture again from the context that you have created from the beginning. For example, teacher Behzad, and then show a picture, and your students that your Behzad, for example, studied some English last weekend. Teacher Behzad, I don't know, visited his parents last weekend. Teacher Behzad helped his son with his lessons, and you can see that they can have or half production, and half of the sentence has been given. Okay, and then finally they want to give in a kind of a meaningful and real life a context that they can use the target language more freely, or we can even say freer practice. First, so from CP, SCP, we go to FP or freer practice, and it's a must in a grammar lesson as well as a vocabulary lesson. The steps that you want to go. Normally, most of English books have CP and sometimes SCP, but there is a lack of FP or freer practice or real life situation practice that you as the teacher, is your responsibility to provide your students with some more freer practice. And inshallah, actually next session I would give you some more explanation about how you can put your students, you can use different techniques, you can use and different types of drills and steps of drilling, as well as actually how to can make a CCQ for new structure and different approaches, 3 approaches that I want to share with you for next session class. Okay, it's the matter of approaches in teaching grammar that I want to go through 3 approaches and maybe 4. That one of them is text-based approach, and another one is TTT or test, teach, test, and another one is context-built that a little bit I've discussed that. Here you can find my Instagram and my phone number, and any question, it would be welcomed. And thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, Mr. Shawqia. I just talked about the first preliminary step of teaching grammar, and the steps that usually we can put in practice when we start teaching grammar. Surely they are not the word of Bible, or they are not, God words, okay, simple word. And you as a teacher, you can choose the best strategy, the best method for your own classes. That surely you are the decision maker of your own classes that can be the best. Okay, thank you so much. Any question? I would be at yours. Otherwise, I would say actually thank you so much for your nice participation, and thanks for your nice companion. Thank you, Ms. Shawqia. I'm at yours.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Behzad. It was really very fruitful, very distinguished presentation. Thank you a lot. And of course, we are very glad to have you more and more, because you give us very interesting and fabulous presentations and webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you for all attendees. Now, if there is any question, please raise your hand, and Dr. Behzad will hopefully and happily answer your questions.
Yeah,
And
Hannon.
before that, please,
Yeah.
sorry for interruption. I sent a feedback form. Please fill it for this session, and after 1 or 2 minutes, I will send you the form for certification. Please write your name and your email correctly, and you will have and receive your certificate immediately via the email that you wrote inside the form. Thank you. Yes, please, if there is any question, raise your
Yeah,
hand.
Hannon, Shakir, or one person is raising hand.
Yes, yes. Who is he?
I don't know. Hanin?
Yes,
Hanin.
Haneen. Haneen,
Yeah.
please. Yes, go ahead, please, Miss Haneen. Miss Haneen.
Yes.
Haneen? Yes,
Yes.
please. Go ahead.
I was wondered to ask myself if there is any website for Mr. Behzad Zamani about techniques in teaching vocabulary.
Voice is not so clear. Please, Miss Haneen, can you fix your voice?
Yes. I want to ask Mr. Behzad if there any website for him about techniques of teaching vocabularies.
About teaching vocabulary, yeah, we can have a session if you would like, but if you would like to have some activities, yeah, I can share some links with Shawqia to share with you as well.
Okay, thank you. Please.
Thank you. Yes, of course, we will invite Dr. Behzad more and more, inshallah. But we have now a full schedule. Next week, inshallah, we will have a guest whose name is Dr. Renee from Malaysia, inshallah. And also the other week, we will have, for example, another guest speaker from Sudan. Then from Gaza, Miss Noor, she is here with us. We will have her in July, inshallah, and many, many other guest speakers. We have a lot of speakers, inshallah. Wait for us each week, inshallah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Haneen.
Thank
Yes,
you
I
so much.
send you the certificate form. Please fill it correctly and you will receive your certificate immediately. If there is no question, we want to thank Dr. Behzad Zamani another time. Thank you very, very much. We
You're
were
welcome.
very glad and excited to have you. And also, I won't forget to thank first of all, Mr. Al Hassan Al Roba, my colleague from Morocco. He is a very helpful colleague. In each session, he is with me and helps me in directing the session. Thank you, Mr. Al Hassan Al Rob. And also, I won't forget to thank all the participants from all over the world. They were very distinguished in participation. Thank you all and hope to meet you another time, inshallah, next week. Thank you and good.
Thank you so much.
Yes, before leaving, I want to present a certificate for Dr. Behzad. Sorry for being late, but
That's okay. No
yes, wait a minute,
problem.
please. Before leaving.
Uh, Thank
Yes,
you,
wait a
dear
minute.
friends. I'm so happy that you found the session fruitful as well as useful. Thank you, dear. Yeah. As dear Shawqia is sharing the certificate, maybe dear Sana has talked about some irregular verbs and regular verbs, but there is a big topic here, dear Ehsane. Don't we never and ever teach regular and irregular verbs in one session. Surely it doesn't work. First the pillar, then actually you can build the building. Okay, first the pillar, and then you can first the foundation. A great foundation is a must for teaching grammar. Dear Amana, thank you so much. Dear Naila, thank you so much. Dear Muhammad, thank you. And dear Annapurna, I think from India or Pakistan. And dear Dr. Muhammad, thank you so much. And thank you, Qadeh. And I've been done. Thank you so much. My pleasure, man. And Fakiha, thank you so much. And dear Mubarak Ali and dear Gulshan. Okay. Welcome, dear Ghade and dear Doctor. Hello, and very nice. I would appreciate you, Doctor, for your nice participation. And I do appreciate one by one. And I have been pleasured and honored to be here in your great gathering. And thank you, dear Miss Shawqia, for the certificate that you have given me. Thank you so much.
Yes, at the end of our meeting today, I want to give this nice certification from me, the president of the Arab English Teacher Association, Shawqia Hawawre from Palestine, for Dr. Behzad Zamani in recognition of his outstanding contribution and delivering this lecture, which is titled Approaches in Teaching Grammar. And of course, it needs more sessions, and we hope that we will have Dr. Behzad another time, inshallah, to complete this great and nice and fruitful session as well, inshallah, next days, bi'idhnillah, inshallah. Thank you, Doctor, and congratulations for the success of this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a great time and hope see you soon.
Yes, thank you. Goodbye, Doctor. We appreciate your.
May God
Thank
save all of us. And actually, that's the best pray that I can do. Okay, healthy and well. Thank you so much.
Inshallah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thank you. Yes, if there is any question now, you can ask either in English or Arabic. 1 minute, and I will close the session, inshallah. Thank you all of you for your nice words. Thank you, Dr. Al-Hassan, Miss Naila, thank you. Roshio, thank you. Marwa, yes. Yes, yes, Miss Marwa, check your spam. It is there. If you wrote your email correctly, you would receive it immediately, inshallah. Thank you, Miss Marwa. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Hala. Thank you, Miss Ghada. Yes, I send the link. I will send the link another time. The 2 links. The feedback meeting, please fill it first. This one. I send it another time here in the chat box. Please fill it. Also, the certification one. This one. Yes. So there are 2 forms. The first one is for the meeting as feedback, and the second one for the certification. Please write your emails correctly and check your email or your spam. Thank you. Yes, Miss Ghada, did you receive the links? Miss Ghada?